Carson Hocevar survives Talladega, gets his first career win. Does NHRA need to have more four-wide nationals throughout the year? And a lot to come from sprint car racing from Knoxville. All that in one episode. Welcome in, everybody, at ZB's Horsepower Talk. As always, I'm ZB Zach Brown. And joined with me is former 410 Sprint Car crew chief and mechanic, my dad, Jeff Brown. Make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe anywhere you get podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. A lot has happened this past weekend. Talladega came back, and it is a first-time winner. I think it was the...
Two first-time winners.
Yeah, so actually three if you count ARCA.
You're correct, yeah.
So ARCA Series had a new first-time winner. O'Reilly Series had Corey Day win, which Corey Day never thought in a million years his first win would come at a drafting track. And Carson Hocevar survives and wins at Talladega in the Cup Series level. That car was really cool. They're what were they calling it? The Intimidente car.
Oh, okay.
Because it was Chili's Dente or something.
Yeah, it was the Robin Dente.
It was okay. So I texted you like the first stage, and it was boring, and I think that's what the design was, because the second stage and third stage ended up having a lot more excitement. A lot more crashes happened than we've seen all year long, which, I mean, it is Talladega. But this is even more crashes even for the drafting tracks than we've seen. A huge pile up. It got better. But the thing that sucked, though, is that the very last couple laps, nobody was making moves to go anywhere. And this is for the Cup Series. This is what I'm talking about, the Cup Series.
Yeah.
We'll talk about O'Reilly once again, still being better racing than the Cup Series. But nobody was moving out of line.
Now, I don't know how bad some of these cars were banged up. Maybe they're just they had no option but to follow the car in front of them. You know, maybe they just weren't aero enough to be able to push or try to make any. Like there was no energy being built on either lane. They just kind of got.
Well, I guess maybe in the defense of that, a lot of the very good pushing cars were all taken out in that one crash.
Yeah.
And in the second stage, like Brad Keselowski, he's traditionally a very good pusher. That the Fords really are, and a lot of Fords were split up, out of line, like they always end up doing in these drafting tracks. It comes to the very last stage, and something happens where there's not a lot of them together, and they just don't have that momentum, that push, and that speed to prevail to win these races. It's weird because they have arguably the best cars. Comes to the end, they don't really win these.
Yeah. And
then Hocevar, besides the caution that he brought out towards the end, he had a clean race car. He kept that thing good. He raced it smart. Who did he take out? I can't remember who he took out. It was coming off a 4, and he came down on someone, and they crashed. That was what led to the last restart. But I think NASCAR has a good idea that it's a good concept, I guess, that with the stages and how they broke it down, it was better-ish. The first,
their idea was that they were trying to eliminate the sandbagging going on for the last two stages, and
or you could just eliminate the stage breaks.
Well, then they might just sandbag the whole thing. The whole time, I don't know an answer. I still say random stage breaks where you do not know when it's going to be.
Or random cautions, yeah. And
that's
I don't know. O'Reilly still manages to have really good racing.
It's good racing.
I legitimately think it is the car, right? I think the cars.
I think it's more the tire than the car.
Well, yeah, because the tires are enormous in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
But that translates to the car. That's the type of tire you have to have for that car, I guess. But just the whole design of the O'Reilly car is significantly better than the Cup car, and they. Week in and week out, we said it every week. I don't know if there's been a week that the Cup Series has been a better race than the O'Reilly Series, and that's on all the tracks. They've been really good. They really have.
Stock car racing should not have ground effects and diffusers and things like that to make downforce. They're a stock car. The O'Reilly cars do not have that. I mean, they have the stuff implemented to keep them from going upside down. But the NASCAR's trying to get it too much. They got the transaxle thing, which it holds up real well. I just now they're independent suspended in the back. The cars just handle too good. Put the solid rear back in the things and a regular front end and engine and transmission, and let's go back regular racing. Just put the the metal bodies on the cup cars, where Riley's are the composite or whatever it is. But I don't know.
Well,
that's just me, and I like this. The higher horsepower and the smaller tire definitely makes them harder to drive.
And I still think they need to test out the higher horsepower for the mile and a halfs and see how that improves. If it improves on that, why not try it on the drafting tracks then? They're going to be like, oh, safety.
Yeah, they were already running almost 200 mile an hour. They're not going to let them go any faster than that.
Yeah, they'll be all right. They were fine in the 80s, and they didn't have any of the safety equipment. It's okay. Only a lot of very bad injuries and long-term effects. It's okay. Yeah. Let's talk about the celebration, though. That is the talk of Talladega, though. And it already came out that NASCAR said, hey, we are not banning this. That was
awesome. Really? I didn't see that. I thought for sure
that came, like, hey, that came from the new CEO of NASCAR, because now Brian France has stepped down, which is probably another good sign that NASCAR is moving in the right direction, because he's made very questionable choices over his tenure here. But yes, they are not fining him. They are not going to ban it. It's not going to be a rule. It's basically essentially like, hey, if you do this and you get hurt, it's not on us. That's on you. You can't do anything. Like, that's your fault. And I think that's great. I think that's well. They didn't even ban Carl Edwards from doing backflips. You got to think about that.
This is true.
So
all Carl would have to do was slip like Connor Zilic did when he won last year, and fracture an ankle or something.
Well, so. the thing that Hocevar has going for him is that he is 6'5". He's very tall. I think the tallest driver in.
I couldn't figure out what he was trying to do there. I was like, is his foot stuck or what's going on? And then Clint Boyer, we got a visitor right there, wants to say hi. But Clint Boyer's like, he wants to ride in the window, and I was like, okay. So I guess that gives a whole new meaning to ride the Dente for Chili's, and I believe that's their. I'm assuming that's their first win.
Spire.
Well, I meant for Chili's as a sponsor.
Oh, I think so.
Spire has had a couple wins.
Yeah. I was about to say Spire's been in victory lane, but no, I can't think that Chili. I can't even think of Chili's really sponsored before. Yeah. The cars looks really good though. I like that.
That's cool. Good for them.
It was.
I think that was a fan favorite. People like.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys you want to like, and then he ends up doing something stupid and it kind of pisses you off.
Well, it's similar to how everybody felt about Chastain.
Yeah, very much.
It's very, very similar, but at the end of the day, and I've seen host of our story, and it's really cool. He doesn't really hang out with the guys at the garage. He doesn't. He has his own friends outside of racing, and Junior was like befuddled by that when he was on his podcast. I'm like, I think that's a really good thing. I think if you just to get away from the track altogether, like you don't need to hang out with only drivers. I think it's a good thing. And he's basically all business when he goes there. I'm not trying to compare him to Dale, but Dale didn't have like best friends. He hung out besides like DW outside the track a lot. He kind of kept to himself a lot, went fishing, did his own thing. Towards the end of his career, he hung out with more people, but you always saw that Dale kind of kept to himself too. I think that's smart. Just kind of, and he just goes home and does some iRacing and just hangs out. It's nothing crazy. It was really cool. And they were trying to throw him beers from the stands.
I saw that. He almost caught that one.
Yeah, that would have
been pretty sweet.
That's classic Talladega there. That was.
I don't know if you saw the sign, and somebody had a sign in the infield that said it's a bad day to be a beer.
Then that's damn truth at Talladega. It was another sellout crowd. Talladega's going to have sellout crowds. Yeah. I wish they actually had more people there for the O'Reilly race too. And if people did what we did, it's a 2-for-1 more or less deal that we were able to get a couple years ago.
But speaking of the other races, Cletus McFarland brings home second place. Almost had that thing won. And Corey Day wins 2 in a week. He wins the high limit sprint cars. Was that this week or was that last week?
Yeah, it was the
race he ran. He won, and then
I think it was Eagle at Eagle Raceway, maybe. That sounds right. But it actually brings into the hot laps, the hot takes for this week for NASCAR, and then I'll talk about the other last hot take I have when we discuss NHRA here in a minute. But here's that. Still cool ass graphic. The hot take from the Cup race is this: Carson Hocevar will make the chase and have a chance at the championship. I think he will. He's not in the cut yet, but I think this win will bring more wins. I think he'll have at least another 1 or 2 wins this year. Momentum is a huge thing in motorsports. We've talked about that in all of motorsports, any type of racing, actually, really any type of sport. Momentum's everything, and this will give them a little bit extra juice. They already have the monkey off their back to get their first win. Now they can kind of do their thing and get some consistency to get into the chase. And I think for sure he's going to do that. I think the car's good. He's a good driver. I think you'll see him get a lot of good consistent races throughout the summer to make the chase and have a chance at the title. Do I think he's going to win the title? Of course not. But I think he'll have an opportunity at it.
Yeah, I agree. I think this win, maybe it'll be enough to, having learned that, sometimes if you're just going to have a 5th, 6th place car, you got to take a 5th, 6th place car. Don't put yourself and do something stupid and get a DNF. So I think he's going to be okay. I think you're going to see some good, solid, consistent finishes out of him after this one. So I think that was a huge, ego boost that, hey, you know what, I can do this. And
and I'll be honest, the way he's had a lot of controversy with working with people and stuff, people really worked with him. I think a lot of it was Stenhouse did a really good job being clean racing with him. And I thought with 3 to go, I was like, Stenhouse is going to win this sucker.
Yeah.
I really thought Stenhouse had a very good opportunity to win it, but everybody kind of just stalemated at the end. But nobody tried to wreck Hocevar. He really didn't try to wreck anybody either. And that was probably his most complete race, which, I mean, is the reason he won. I would kind of give that away.
Yeah.
Again, I think you'll see more wins from him, at least another 1 or 2 wins this year with a lot more consistency. The other hot lap, the hot take from this weekend: do we think Cletus deserves more NASCAR opportunities? NASCAR denied his request to race in the O'Reilly Series in the Talladega race after a not very great performance at Rockingham. They basically said he just needs more experience under his belt to be able to race on these super speedways and big tracks like that. So I'll say it. I think yes, but I think you have to leave him in ARCA for a little bit longer. You got to see how he progresses through ARCA, because yes, he's going to bring in money for you, but we've talked about it time and time again. I mean, he's not like 18, 19 years old, but it's still the same concept. You can't just throw him in to an O'Reilly car or a Cup car where he has very little experience driving actual race cars. So does he deserve more? Yes. But there's like an asterisk next to it, what I'm thinking.
So I guess it's his cameraman Squirrel was actually also racing in the ARCA race and got like 10th or 11th or something like that. So we got Cletus and Squirrel. Yeah, I agree. He needs to run some more ARCA. Maybe move up a truck on, maybe a short track or something like that. Just to get experience. But I think the big tracks right now, I think he needs to stay off of that. But on the same note, they let some of these other people get on those tracks, and they probably don't have as good of an ARCA finish as he had. So if he sticks with it and then run more ARCA for a year, I think NASCAR would probably let him run pretty much about anything he wanted to in a year.
You'll probably at least see him get a couple truck races next year. I honestly, I think if everything goes well, it wouldn't surprise me if they allow him to race in the truck race at Daytona in the spring.
Very possible.
Like give him as long like we've been saying, just a little bit more consistency, showing that he's not completely incompetent at driving. Even though there's quite a lot of guys they allow race on these tracks that are very incompetent to drive, but that's
Yeah,
beside
but
the point.
there's a huge jump even between ARCA and the truck series as far as equipment and talent and things like that.
Yeah,
You can buy yourself a really good ARCA car and be better than probably 90% of the field, and trucks are probably not going to do that.
well, truck is more of for at least Daytona survival
Yeah,
is trying to just make it through. But I mean, it was cool to see him because I mean that he's one of the most humble people, and he's the one like he's very straightforward about everything. It seems like a very approachable. He just seems just like a normal dude. So that's why a lot of people like.
he's loving it and living his best life. I mean, that's hats off to him. Yeah, if I had the opportunity to do something like that, I'd do it too.
Yeah. All right. Well, that does it for the NASCAR hot takes. So that's talk. So when we're recording this, NASCAR Fantasy technically isn't out yet, so we don't know what the matchups are. It'll be on the screen for you though whenever it comes to be, because I'll edit this later in the week. Um, I hate Talladega when it comes to fantasy. There's just no. I mean, you got lucky.
You think you hate Talladega? Mom went from first to third in the standings this week.
Yeah, well,
So who has two thumbs and lead in the fantasy points? This guy.
yeah, for now until mom
Oh yeah,
gets
that ain't
about
going to last long. I
7,000.
know it. I know
She
it. So I'm going
she's
to take
literally
one.
her lineup's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the garage is going to be sixth place, and she's going to have every matchup right this week, while all of our drivers are going to have DNFs and actually probably get suspended from NASCAR, and she automatically wins. That's probably what's going to happen. She guarantees she already going to pick the winner of this week. Promise you that. Speaking of picking the winner, I wasn't completely out of left field when I picked Cindric to win. He went a lap down, worked his way back. Might even went 2 laps down, but he worked his way back and got eighth in the race.
Yeah.
So he
Yes, he
he
was
was in
involved in
contention. He
that
was
big
there.
wreck, but he didn't really get any damage, luckily.
Yeah, he was there. Kyle Busch got a top 10 at Talladega. Austin Dillon got a top 10.
Kyle
No, he
Busch
didn't.
news. Kyle Busch has a new crew chief. I forget who he had, but they fired him and promoted Andy Street.
I'm not sure if that's going to make much of a difference at this point.
Yeah,
but
the cars just aren't,
But he needed that good top 10 win. They needed that.
and
Big
that
time.
wasn't without issue because he was involved in that crash.
Everybody was involved in that crash, essentially. But let's talk about NASCAR Fantasy. We'll give a preview of Texas this week. And I think high limits in Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
They are. So there's certain
you'll
NASCAR
see.
drivers going to be doing double duty, and I'm guessing probably an O'Reilly Series driver going to be running sprint cars.
And I wonder if Larson's going to.
He is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Larson might even be running the O'Reilly race in the 88.
That I don't know, but I'm sure Corey Day's sprint car is probably going to be there, and Larson in the 57 is going to be there.
Yeah, and I wonder if Brad Sweet's going to make it out there.
I was just wondering. So Brad Sweet's kind of a unofficial teammate with the Paul Silva race team.
I mean, that's who was his crew chief for that race. I mean, Paul Silva was there.
I don't know if that's Paul Silva's car or.
We'll talk about sprint car in a minute, but yeah, Texas is the last mile and a half where it's really kind of can it get good? We're waiting on it. I've been waiting on it. This is a track that I think needs to be reconfigured like Atlanta, make it a drafting track. I think a drafting track for Texas, you could really market that big time.
I agree with that. Yeah, right now Texas is one of those races. It's like it's probably not going to be a good race. It's going to be boring. So. We'll see. I mean, anything can happen. Depends on what tire they bring and things.
This is the mile and a half. They need to test the higher horsepower package.
Yeah.
That's how they would get better racing here. O'Reilly traditionally puts on amazing races here, and excited to see that. This is where Larson won, I believe, last year when Zilich was hurt. When he was out with an injury, Larson won the Texas race in the I guess the Xfinity then, but the O'Reilly Series now. You'll see some double duty. That'll be interesting to see how it all shakes up there. hopefully, hoping for the best, hoping it's a better Texas race than it traditionally has been. Um, Somebody's talking like a minion behind me. Don't know
I
what she
hear.
just said. That's not English. But all right, let's talk about NASCAR fantasy. It'll be on the screen whenever this comes out. So I will go first because I suck.
You are up to
Definitely need,
second place, though.
yeah, for now. Well, I need a bounce back, but I'm also trying to kind of be conservative with some of the drivers. This is the part. It's like I don't know how I want to organize this. There's a couple I've got to use though. So my starting lineup, I've got Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar. I got to go with the guy with the momentum. Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe, and in my garage, I do have Christopher Bell. Don't know what the matchups are. We'll talk about our picks in a minute. What's your lineup?
Okay. I'm going to try to protect my lead here. I've never been in the lead before, so I'm going to try to keep it. So
you're going big names.
I got Denny Hamlin,
Yep.
Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, and in my garage, I have Christopher Bell.
Well, this is the week to set ourselves apart for sure. There's no way anybody has the same lineup as me. I just like how Hocevar has been on the mile and a half. I like how Chastain races Texas traditionally pretty well. And then you got to have a couple Toyotas in there. You got to have the one that's got 5 wins. But the winner I'm picking this week, this might be the first time I've picked him this year. I'm all about trying not to jinx him, but at this point, he finished 40th at Talladega, so he's got to have a bounce back week. Got to get consistent again. This is all up in his wheelhouse, mile and a half track. I do like Hendrick Motorsports in this. I like Kyle Larson in this race to win.
Okay, so my pick comes true. We're going to be talking conspiracy theories and tinfoil hats again. So I got Tyler Reddick for Texas.
Did Mom make a pick or?
I didn't ask him.
Yeah, this. I swear to God, if he gets a 6 win and 11 races, that's just insane. All right, go. Let's just recap the NHRA 4-wide nationals at zMax in Charlotte. Well, Concord. Let's be real, it's Concord. I was over there for a little bit. Didn't really go in. It was pretty packed, and this is the only race that they have in at zMax this year because the fall race is actually going to Rockingham. So I didn't even know Rockingham had a drag strip. Is this like a revival drag strip?
Yeah, I knew they had a drag strip, but I don't know how much NHRA ever ran there. I know it was an IHRA event for quite a while, so that'll be interesting. It's right there, all at the right across the street from the speedway.
There's a 2-year-old behind me used to going somewhere for an adventure. I don't know. So my hot take for NHRA before we talk about the results real quick. I say NHRA needs more. I don't know what I just said there. NHRA needs just more 4-wide nationals. First of all, they've got it down to a science now. They're pretty sharp at what they're doing. And NHRA, they are strict on a schedule and a time. They're like, they got to get this in. I like how it essentially goes quicker. It gets teams in and out. And if there is a time crunch for rain, if they're expecting rain later on, they can get these in and get it over with and get it taken care of. I think they got it where it runs very smoothly now. Las Vegas does a great job with it, and zMax does a great job with it. I'd like to see more because 4-wide is really, really cool to see. I know there's a lot of traditionalists that like the 2-wide, but man, I really you don't understand until you've actually been there at the 4-wide. It is something that you got to see it to believe it. It's really, really cool, and I think I'm not saying all of them, but maybe 1 or 2 more 4-wide nationals would be really, really cool to see.
See, now I'm going to go on the opposite. I like having just to where that's going to be a special kind of event, just sort of 1 or 2 times a year. It's neat. TV wise, they screw up. They're still making it a 3-hour broadcast, which is way too long for NHRA. And being the 4 wides runs through quicker, like you said, because you have one less round. There's just way too much talking going on and not enough racing. But the racing was good. There was an interesting thing with the Top Fuel semifinal. I think it was semifinals. They started all 4 cars and it started to sprinkle, so they shut them all off. And for whatever reason, Schumacher's car, the blower seized up and they could not get it to start. So I mean, they wanted to have time to go back and put a new blower on it, and then the NHRA said, no.
Yeah.
So but that was kind of a really odd thing why the 3 of the other cars, started up, and that just one of those weird things that happened. But I mean, it was good racing. I mean, so we had Doug Coletta win Top Fuel, Ron Capps funny car, who won?
Matt Hartford.
And then Jocker Gage Herrera wins the motorcycle.
No, Gage Herrera hasn't won every single week though.
No.
The shocker of this year, and it continues to be the storyline, is Austin Prock can't find the speed. Yeah. They were 16th in qualifying, and they're eliminated the first round as well. Just can't figure. I don't know what the deal is, why it's such a drastic fall off. I guess I could turn this off. I don't know why such a drastic fall off from last year. I know they changed to Ford, right?
Yeah, I don't know if just the downforce is just so completely different between bodies. I mean, the cars are the same. I mean, that's relatively. I mean, everybody has their own kind of chassis, but
yeah. Oh, he's being good. Okay, that's surprising. And the other side of that, the dominant car and funny car this year is Ron Capps. He's really turning back the clock right now and showing some vintage Ron Capps right now. Just a lot of dominating races so far this year. I think that's his 3rd win, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
And Doug Coletta showed a lot of really good speed. Hartford's the first repeat winner in Pro Stock for the year. So definitely good stuff already from NHRA. Each year, it's nice to see different storylines. So that's always good that there's not just one dominant person. I mean, shoot, I think these last 5 years have been Doug Coletta's best of his entire career that he's had. Just the most wins and consistency that I've seen. I mean, he's got the championships and he 2-time champion now?
He's 2-time champion.
Yeah. So he went all those, and then he went back-to-back years. So I mean, good for him. But Ron Capps, he's Top Fuel, and the husband and wife were in the finals. That was pretty cool.
Yep. And
Leah and Tony were in the finals.
She beat together. Tony.
And that was been cool if one of them could have won.
Yeah.
Tony had an issue right off the start. And in the first round, Antrim blew up. The engine exploded.
Yeah.
They had an issue. And was it J.R. Todd in the funny car semis?
His chutes didn't come out, and actually ran into the sand trap and did a real good job of, getting that thing straight in there and getting it stopped, which was a scary thing because the DHL car happened before, and we lost Scott Coletta at Englishtown, New Jersey, I believe, when the chutes didn't open. That's when they changed and went to 1,000 foot just to have a little more runoff room. But I know it did some damage to the car, and then next round, J.R. Todd just smoked the tires right off the start, so I guess they didn't have everything quite right.
Let me show everybody what I'm dealing with. What is in your hair? What is this?
Gummy.
Why is it back here too? What did you do?
Get the Vaseline out.
Oh, that one's coming out. Goodness gracious. This is what I deal with on a daily basis, everybody. There you go. Ugh. All right, go have fun. I'll get your orange in a second. Okay, give me a second. All right, the final thing we got to talk about. Tell you, you'll understand. Everybody's like, no, boys are the wildest ones. Nope. Whoever tells you that's a lie.
I just remember it's always the second child.
Well, she knows she's the only girl too.
Yeah.
I can't even. I don't know what this orange is made out of. Oh, she wants an orange. Sprint car racing. That's what I want to talk about. Yay! Off topic. That was fun. So High Limit and World of Outlaws joined together at a lot of them from High Limit went with the World of Outlaws to Knoxville as the. I always like to say this is the preview race of the Nationals, and is it going to correspond to it? Probably not. The format's completely different, but this gets them a little bit of track time at Knoxville, and it's a lot better than they had a couple years ago where it snowed this time in Knoxville.
Yeah, that's right.
They had to cancel. So it's good to see them get at least some track time.
But they had 65 410s out there for this race.
Yeah, they'll have upwards of probably 100 at Nationals.
Yeah. But still, just for a regular outlaw show, that was pretty awesome.
The one I'm impressed by is the defending Knoxville Nationals champion, friend of the program, Ryan Timms. He looked good in both races.
Yeah, he looked real good. There was some he had some.
And dare I say that was some of the better Knoxville racing I've seen in a while.
Yeah,
Knoxville generally kind of can get a little bit boring. They get a little strung out. Well, usually someone has a huge lead and just dominates the race. But there was a lot of good racing in that. There were multiple grooves in both races.
There were some major sliders going on in the Saturday race for sure. I mean, it was
Hocevar and not Hocevar, Macedo sliding up in front of Tim's. A little bit dirty there.
Yeah, that was a little bit. And then I think he did it to somebody. Was it Rico?
Buddy Kofoid did it to someone.
Oh, yeah, Buddy Kofoid did.
He slid up in front of I think it was Brian Brown. I was like, that's a little. Oh, you didn't give him any room there.
But you know what? Not one of them crashed. So sometimes you have the choice. You either going to crash or you just back off a little bit and go again. And they all made the correct choice.
Yeah, it was good, and
it was a nice surface. That was a good racing surface. You had the top or right around the bottom. It looked good. So we had part-timer Brad Sweet coming out of semi-retirement, wins it Friday night. And then there's the shocker, David Gravel leads the whole thing Saturday night.
Yeah. But David Gravel traditionally doesn't do great at the Knoxville. Well, I say that. I think he started like 23rd last year and ended up 4th in Knoxville Nationals.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't think he hasn't won that yet. I'm just eating an orange that she just brought me.
Okay.
I don't think he's won Knoxville Nationals. So I think it's one thing on his resume he's still trying to.
I don't think so.
Trying to get so. Hi. I don't have a hot lap take on that one. I think that's all I got for this week, and I know I can't remember where Outlaws are at this week, and then High Limit.
I'm not sure.
I didn't look at all the schedules,
but the High Limit has the midweek show tonight,
which Ryan Timms has the point lead.
He's the midweek point leader by 2. So good luck to Ryan Timms. I'm hoping he's down in Texas for this one.
I think he lives in Oklahoma, so it's not that terrible.
He does, but the car is where do you say the car was from? South Dakota?
Something like maybe that? That's why they race in Huset's.
Yes, it's tonight at Arrowhead Speedway.
Oh, okay, cool. While we're recording, no, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow's 28th.
Oh, that's Tuesday. Right. It's not Tuesday. We usually record on Tuesday.
Yep. So
tomorrow.
Seeing that, and that's the only race Nope, none of that's true because it's Texas this weekend. Yep. And then Kokomo, Port will be Memorial Day weekend.
So the dirt track at. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. Wrong schedule. Texas. Okay. It's that's weird. It's April 30th and then again May 2nd.
Yeah, so they skipped Friday.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has something to do with I don't know.
That is
a little strange. You would think if they skipped any to benefit the the high limit regulars like Corey Day, it would be miss on Saturday, or he could race over Riley and not worry about it. So we'll see how all that shakes up. But make sure you guys follow on TikTok, where I have daily content. Just put a new thing up on there. Follow Spotify, YouTube, and the TikTok. And then obviously new episodes every Friday. Daily content on TikTok as well. So we will see you guys next week after we talk about a little bit more racing and getting close to Memorial Day weekend. Trying to figure out what we might do for that show. I'm working that weekend, so we might do something. We always try to do a little something cool for the Memorial Day show.
Okay.
A couple years ago, we were in Indy, so we'll see what we can do this time. But we'll see everybody then.
All right. Bye, everybody.